Hello. This video is about John Smith, and the first question we have was, why do we consider John Smith to be the founder of the American dream? Well, John Smith's vision for the new colonies played a big part in his why we see him the founder of the American dream. He was one of the first believers of you reap what you sow. So basically meaning the amount of success comes from your work. So if you put in the time and you put in the effort, eventually you'll see the success of what you did. Um, as he writes in most of his writing, what he thought about what he found out was two completely different things. So what he thought what he was going to find, he didn't end up finding. It was something totally completely different. In one of his passages, he says, "Such actions have ever since the world began been subjected to such accidents, and everything of worth is found full of difficulties, but nothing so difficult as to establish a commonwealth so far remote from men and means, and when men's minds are so untoward as neither do well themselves nor suffer others, but to proceed." To me, he was basically saying nothing comes easy. All through life, you were taught it's going to take some work behind things you do to get to where you want. So basically, he's saying you put in the work and you put in the time behind what you want, then eventually it'll pay off. Back to what he said, is in you reap what you sow. It's not always handed to you. Sometimes you have to go through a journey and take the time to figure out what you're trying to get so you can get it. And one of his pictures, it shows him capturing one of the kings. I believe it was a really tall guy who was very, like, almost a foot taller than him. I can't remember the guy's name, but it just shows John Smith capturing him and taking him away. John Smith's dream was for all of America's people to be free and work hard so they can provide for themselves. So basically, he wanted America to be like a free working country, not necessarily free working, but work for themselves and not have to have things handed to them. John Smith wanted to remembered as a leader, similar to what a lot of us want to do in life. We all want to be remembered as somebody important or someone who led. Your parents always teach you to be a leader, not a follower. So that was something that John Smith did really well. I find myself similar to John Smith in certain ways. One being that I want to be remembered as a leader. I try to set examples for people in my younger people in my family to follow by, or people around me. Just do something that sticks out to them, so that something like that I did in life can be remembered as well and not forgot. Uh, I want my life to be meaningful and long lasting. I don't want to be, after I'm done on this earth, whether it's something in sports or business or anything like that of that sort. I want to be remembered for a long time and just not a short memory and gone after a while. Uh, Whatever I end up in doing in life, I want it to be something that people can try to resemble for their own life or model for their life. So I want it to be meaningful, like I said, and I want them to try to model what I did to their life so they can help them out in the long run. Thank you.